Hello and namaste everyone. This is the Seeker of Love and Light, a humble student of the Law of One. So today's video is a short summary of session 8 of the book called The Ra Contact. If you wish to listen to the entire Q&A sessions in Hindi, it's available on my Instagram page at Seeker of Love and Light. Link to which is given in this description box, and if you wish to read the books, then the link to the PDF is also given below.
What is the law? The law is one. Why are we here? We seek the law of one. Why are we seeking Ra? Because Ra is a humble messenger of law of one. So together we protect the law of one group, their families, friends, neighbors and well-wishers in the circle of love and light of our one infinite creator, and we restrict any negative entity or thought forms or negative energy from entering this circle, because the law is one. Rejoice then and purify this place in the law of one.
Guys, I would like to emphasize yet again that the channel information given in this book is for your discernment, and it is your free will to accept or reject or completely ignore it. Thank you. This session was channeled and recorded on the 26th of January 1981. And as usual, at the beginning of the session, Ra says, "We are Ra. We greet you in the love and in the light of our one infinite creator. We communicate now." So in this session, Dawn asks Ra about the free will using which the Confederation advertises themselves. There have been certain contacts allowed by the Council with only those who wanted to be contacted, by keeping the law of free will in mind. He also says that they wish to make this material available depending upon the wants of a relatively small number of people on the planet. Is there any possibility of creating some effect or advertising, or is it against the law of free will? To which Ra says that, consider your life experience, for example, the coincidences and odd circumstances by which one thing follow the next. Similarly, every entity on the planet will receive the opportunity it needs. This information source might not have any importance in the life experience of everyone who is on the path of seeking. Hence, such advertisements should be general and not designed to indicate the searching out of any particular material, but to understand the essential aspects of the illusion. So guys, Ra has said something really important here, कि हर इंसान की एक यूनिक स्पिरिचुअल जर्नी होती है जिसमें वो अलग अलग रिसोर्सेज ढूंढता है. अब वो किस रिसोर्स या किस सोर्स से रेजोनेट करेगा, इट डिपेंड्स ऑन हिम और हर. ये जो मटेरियल है, द रा कॉन्टैक्ट, इसकी खास बात यह है कि जिन्होंने भी ये बुक पढ़ी है उन्हें ये लगता है कि वो दूसरों से इसको शेयर करें ताकि वो भी इस मटेरियल वर्ल्ड के इल्यूजन का खेल समझ पाए. अगर आपके पास कोई नॉलेज है तो उसे बिल्कुल दूसरों से भी शेयर करना चाहिए, बट वो फ्री विल के अंदर ही होना चाहिए. किसी को ज़बरदस्ती का ज्ञान अच्छा नहीं लगता, भले ही वो उसके लिए कितना भी इम्पोर्टेंट क्यों ना हो. लॉ ऑफ वन की नॉलेज उसके पास जाएगी ज़रूर, पर तब जब वो उसके लिए रेडी होगा. इट इज़ सेड दैट you don't seek the law of one. Law of one seeks you. So further, Dawn wanted to know about a sentence Ra had said in the previous session, which was, there is a certain amount of landing taking place. Some of these landings are of your peoples. Some are of the entities known to you as the group of Orion. So Dawn says, my first question is, what did you mean by the landings are of your peoples? To which Ra answers, your people at this present time and space have such technological achievements of being able to create and fly the shape and type of crafts which you call as the unidentified flying objects, the UFOs. Unfortunately, these devices are not intended for the service of mankind, but for potential destructive use, which further meddles with the vibratory nexus of this planet, causing a situation whereby neither those who are oriented towards the service to others nor those who are oriented towards the service to self can gain energy or power, which opens the gate of intelligent infinity, which in turn causes the harvest to be small. So guys, ऐसे UFOs हमारे कलाकारों के पास, हमारे लोगों के पास भी है, पर ये क्राफ्ट्स एक्चुअली में वेपन्स हैं और इंसानियत की भलाई के लिए नहीं बल्कि डिस्ट्रक्शंस के लिए बनाए गए हैं. और इसमें जो एनर्जी यूज़ होती है ना, उसे कहते हैं ज़ीरो पॉइंट एनर्जी और फ्लक्स फील्ड, विच कैन ओपन द गेट टू द इंटेलिजेंट इन्फिनिटी, पर इसको कोई यूज़ नहीं कर सकता. इसलिए रा यहाँ कह रहे हैं कि हार्वेस्ट ज़्यादा नहीं होगी इस बार. So further, Ra says that these crafts are part of the so-called military complex of your various societal divisions or structures, and they have bases at different locations. There are bases undersea in your southern waters near the Bahamas, as well as in your Pacific seas in various places close to your Chilean borders on the water. There are bases upon your moon, which are at this time being reworked. There are bases which move about your lands. There are bases in your skies. These are the bases of your people, very numerous and, as we have said, potentially destructive. So, friends, those of us who read this the first time were as shocked as you are right now. इन्होंने कोई जगह नहीं छोड़ी है, समंदर के नीचे, धरती पर, आकाश में, यहाँ तक कि मून पर भी इनके बेसिस हैं, जहाँ ऐसे क्राफ्ट्स रखे गए हैं जिन पर उस वक्त मतलब 1981 में काम चल रहा था। ऐसे अंडरग्राउंड और अंडर वाटर टनल्स हैं जो कुछ मेजर कंट्रीज़ को आपस में जोड़ती है, और इन क्राफ्ट्स को एक जगह से दूसरी जगह ले जाया सकता है with a high speed and without getting detected. So further Dawn asks, where do the people who operate this craft come from? Are they affiliated with any nation on earth? What is their source? To which Ra says that these people are also the children of our one infinite creator. But in your language, these are those in your governments responsible for what you would call the national security. गाइस, बाय दिस पॉइंट डॉन की हालत ख़राब हो गई थी ये जानकर कि हमारे देशों के गवर्नमेंट्स के पास, स्पेशली यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स के पास ऐसे क्राफ्ट्स हैं। और ये पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट पहले इस बुक में नहीं डाला गया था, इसको बाद में ऐड किया गया है जब बहुत सारे लोगों को ये बात ऑलरेडी पता चल चुकी थी। देयर आर फ्यू डॉक्यूमेंट्रीज ऑन दिस मेड बाय डॉक्टर स्टीवन ग्रियर ऑन यूट्यूब, विच आई कैन रिकमेंड, बट इट्स योर फ्री विल, इफ़ यू वॉन्ट यू कैन वॉच देम। एनीवे, तो वो आगे पूछता है, how did the United States learn of the technology to build these? Ra says there was a mind-body-spirit complex called Nikola Tesla. When this entity left your illusion, meaning when he died, his work and papers containing the necessary understandings were taken away by those people serving your security of the National Division Complex. Thus, your people became privy to the basic technology. In the case of those you call Russians, the technology was given by one of the members of the Confederation 27 years ago, that was in 1954, in an attempt to share information and bring about peace among your people. But it was an error on their part. We did many things at the end of this cycle in attempt to aid your harvest, from which we learned the folly of certain types of aid. This is the contributing factor to our more cautious approach at this date, even as the need is power upon power greater and your people's call is greater and greater. Further, Dawn asks, are these crafts actually weapons and are far more dangerous than the arms we have today, and what is the mechanism by which they work, and do we have the ability to fly in such craft? To which Ra says that the craft are perhaps misnamed in some instances. It would be more appropriate to consider them as weaponry. The energy used is that of the field of the electromagnetic energy which polarizes the Earth's sphere. The weaponry is of two basic kinds. First called as the psychotropic weapon, and the second called as the particle beam. The amount of destruction which is contained in this technology is considerable, and the weapons have been used in many cases to alter weather patterns and to enhance the vibratory change which engulfs your planet at this time. सो ये जो साइकोट्रॉपिक वेपन्स हैं वो ब्रेन को ख़राब कर देते हैं कि कोई इंसान ठीक से सोच ही ना पाए। मेडिटेशन तो दूर की बात है। आप में से कई लोगों ने देखा होगा कि कुछ लोग बिल्कुल पागल होते जा रहे हैं, उनकी सोचने की और समझने की क्षमता बिल्कुल कम होती जा रही है। जैसे कि एक बेसिक एनिमल इंस्टिंक्ट होता है ना, वैसे ही अपने रूट चक्रा पे, मीनिंग अपने सर्वाइवल और नीड्स पर ही ज़्यादा फोकस करते हैं। इसकी वजह से ऐसे ऐसे क्राइम्स हो रहे हैं औरतों पर, छोटे छोटे बच्चों पर, जो हम कभी सोच भी नहीं सकते थे। जिनको गुस्सा आ रहा है वो और गुस्सा किए जा रहे हैं। ऐसे वेपन से बचने का एक सिंपल सोल्यूशन है मेडिटेशन, इनर वर्क और अपने आप को और अपने इमोशंस को बैलेंस करते रहना चाहिए। एटलीस्ट दिस इज़ व्हाट वी डू। और सेकेंड टाइप का जो वेपन है जिसमें पार्टिकल बीम यूज़ होता है, वो एक बड़े क्षेत्र में शरीर के कण कण को भी खाक कर सकता है। ये वेपन्स हमारे प्लैनेट के क्लाइमेट साइकिल और वेदर पैटर्न्स को भी चेंज कर सकता है और हमारे प्लैनेट के वाइब्रेटरी रेट को भी चेंज कर सकता है, जिसका एग्जाम्पल हम देख ही रहे हैं अपनी आंखों से। Anyway, further Dawn asks, how have they been able to keep this a secret and why aren't these crafts in use for transport? To which Ra says, the governments of each of your societal divisions desire to refrain from publicity so that the surprise may be retained in case of a hostile action from what your peoples call the enemies. अब ये जो गवर्नमेंट के एनिमीज जो बोला है यहाँ रा ने, वो कोई भी हो सकता है, आपस में कंट्रीज भी हो सकती है या लोग भी हो सकते हैं जो धीरे धीरे जाग रहे हैं या फिर कॉन्फेडरेशन के मेंबर्स भी हो सकते हैं. सो आगे डॉन वांटेड टू नो हाउ मेनी ऑफ दिस क्राफ्ट्स डज द यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स हैव. Ra says the United States have 573 at this time. That was in 1981. They are in the process of adding to this number. Guys, इस बात को 50 साल हो गए हैं और 50 years में क्या क्या नहीं किया जा सकता, you can imagine. Ra also says that the maximum speed of these crafts is equal to the earth energy squared. The field varies and the limit is approximately half of the speed of light. This is due to the imperfection in the design. Further Dawn asks, wouldn't this type of crafts solve a lot of problems as far as the transport goes? To which Ra says, the technology your people possess at this time is capable of resolving each and every limitation which plagues your society at this present nexus of experience. However, some of your beings with inclination towards powerful energy cause this solution to be withheld from the public until the solutions are so needed that those with this kind of inclination can then become further inclined in the direction of power. So further Dawn asks, you mentioned that the other landings were of the Orion group. But why do the Orion group land here? What is their purpose? To which Ra says, their purpose is conquest. Unlike those of the Confederation who wait for the calling, the so-called Orion group calls itself to conquest. So guys, Confederation के members के बिल्कुल opposite होते हैं ये Orion के members, जिन्हें नेगेटिव ईटीज या रेप्टिलियंस भी बोलते हैं. बट जैसे लास्ट सेशन में बताया गया था, इनके मेंबर्स भी अलग अलग प्लैनेट और डेंसिटीज से हैं और इनका एम सिर्फ प्लैनेट नहीं बल्कि पूरे ब्रह्मांड पर कब्जा करना है, बेसिकली क्रिएटर की सोच पर. बिकॉज हम सब प्लैनेट्स और पूरा यूनिवर्स क्रिएटर की सोच ही तो है. इट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ वन ओरिजिनल थॉट. और जैसे कॉन्फेडरेशन वेट्स टिल समवन कॉल्स देम फॉर हेल्प, ये ओरायन ग्रुप उसका ऑपोजिट करते हैं. अब इन्हें आप रावण कहो, लूसीफर कहो या इल्यूमिनाटी, ये है एक ही. So further Ra says there are two types of things they do when they land. In the first, entities among your people are taken on the craft and programmed for future use. There are 2 or 3 levels of programming. First, they choose the entities who do research or are scientists. Second, a triggering program. Third, a deep triggering program crystallizing the entity, thereby rendering it lifeless and useful as a kind of beacon. इसका मतलब है किसी के दिमाग के अंदर कुछ डालकर उसे चलाया जा सकता है अपने हिसाब से काम करने के लिए. आई एम श्योर आपके दिमाग में भी ऐसा कोई साइंटिस्ट या रिसर्चर ज़रूर आया होगा इस वक्त. मैं एक हिंट देती हूँ. इसका रिसेंटली एक रॉकेट लॉन्च होने के बाद ब्लास्ट हुआ था. वैसे तो आप समझदार हो तो मैं किसी का नाम नहीं लूँगी. एनीवे, द सेकेंड फॉर्म इज़ दैट ऑफ लैंडिंग बीनीथ द अर्थ्स क्रस्ट एंड दे एंटर फ्रॉम वाटर, again in the general area of your South American and Caribbean areas and close to the so-called Northern Pole. The bases of these people are underground. So guys, इसको अगर मैं रिलेट करके बताऊँ तो ये जो रावण या जो लूसीफर है वो पाताल में छुपा है सीता हरने के लिए. Their objective is to locate certain entities which vibrate in resonance with their own vibration. Then to enslave the unelite, as you may call those who are not of the Orion vibration. So ये सारा power और control का game है. So further Dawn wanted to know about the landing at the Pascagoula in 1973 when Charlie Hickson was taken on board on a craft. To which Ra says, the landing of which you speak was an anomaly. It was neither the Orion influence nor our people, but rather a planetary entity of your own vibration, which came through quarantine in all innocence in a random landing. So friends, Pascagoula abduction जो 1973 में हुआ था, वो entities सीरियस गैलेक्सी के हमारे ही जैसे हायर ऑर्डर के थर्ड डेंसिटी प्लैनेट से थे. ऐसे बहुत सारी सिविलाइजेशंस हैं who may not look like us, but they are from the third density like us. और ये जो बीइंग्स थे, they did not look like humans. जैसे हमारी बॉडीज़ हमारे प्लैनेट के एलिमेंट से बनी है अकॉर्डिंग टू द इवोल्यूशनरी पैटर्न, सिमिलरली उनकी बॉडीज़ भी उनके प्लैनेट के एलिमेंट्स और एवोल्यूशनरी पैटर्न से बनी है। ये जो थर्ड डेंसिटी के बींग्स थे, उन्होंने अपनी वेल ऑफ फॉरगेटिंग ब्रेक की थी और स्पिरिचुअली और टेक्नोलॉजिकली काफ़ी एडवांस्ड हो गए थे हमसे। वो सिद्धियाँ प्राप्त करके इस लेवल तक पहुँच गए हैं कि वो अब क्राफ्ट्स बना सकते हैं और प्लैनेट्स भी घूम सकते हैं। तो सोचने वाली बात है कि हम भी एक एडवांस सिविलाइजेशन बन सकते थे अगर हम आपस में प्यार से, भाईचारे से रहते, विदाउट एनी सेंस ऑफ सेपरेशन फ्रॉम वन अनदर। पर हमने अपने आप को एक दूसरे से अलग कर दिया है, इन द नेम ऑफ रिलीजन, इन द नेम ऑफ कंट्रीज एंड व्हाट नॉट। खैर, further Don wanted to know what they did with Charlie Hickson on board. Ra says they used his life experiences, concentrating upon the experience of what you call war, to learn more about the law of one. Consider a race who watches a movie. It experiences a story and identifies with the feelings, perceptions, and experiences of the hero. They would not have used the mind body spirit complex of the one known as Charlie except for the resolve of this entity before incarnation to be of service. So Charlie Hickson आर्मी में था and he was in many wars. So ये सभ्यता उससे वॉर के एक्सपीरियंस से सीखना चाहती थी, जिसका अरेंजमेंट उसके इनकारनेशन से पहले ही हुआ था because he wanted to be of service. So further Don wanted to know how many people in the government of the United States knew about these crafts and where were these constructed. Ra says the number of people varies. The approximate number is 1500, but this was in 1981. Now this number has increased and there are many whistleblowers who have given testimonies regarding this information. Ra says these crafts are constructed one by one in two locations, in the desert or arid regions of your so-called New Mexico and in the desert or arid regions of your so-called Mexico, both installations being under the ground. But no one could ride them or sit in them. The United States, as you call your society divisional complex, creates these as type of weapon which are controlled by a computer from a remote source of data, somewhat like a drone. This location was chosen because of dryness of the ground and for a near total lack of population. Therefore, the US government and the government of Mexico arranged for an underground installation. The government officials who agreed did not know the use to which their land would be put, but thought it to be a government research installation for use in what you would call a bacteriological warfare. The approximate diameters of these crafts, given several model changes, is 23 feet. Guys, by this time, Don could not believe his ears that his government had hidden such a big secret for the last 27 years. However, Ra said that this type of information is very shallow in comparison to the study of the law of one. Further, Don asked about the type of craft in which Daniel Fry was transported in, to which Ra says the one known as Daniel was in thought form transported by the Confederation thought form vehicle in order to give him data so that we might be able to see how this type of contact aided your people in the uncovering of the intelligent infinity behind the illusions of limits. So Don asks, would it be possible for any of us to have some type of contact with the Confederation in a more direct way? To which Ra says, in observing the distortions of those who underwent this experiential sequence, we decided to gradually back off from direct contact in thought form. The least distortion seems to be available in mind-to-mind communication. Therefore, the request to be taken aboard is not one we care to comply with. You are most valuable in your present orientation. So guys, here they're talking about meditation and channeling being the best method at this time to communicate with the Confederation. You can also try this. Try sitting in the meditation and call for them. You will start getting ideas, thought forms, and even images in your mind. That is a sign of you connecting with the Confederation. Anyway, guys, the session ends here. And as Ra says, I am Ra. I leave you in the love and in the light of our one infinite Creator. Go forth, rejoicing in the power and in the peace of the one infinite Creator. Adane. Thank you everyone. Stay tuned for more upcoming videos. Please like and subscribe to our channel for more sessions ahead. Thank you.